this mythology, Paul's a connoisseur. Sarah has an interest, but it's all Greek to her. From Cronus's kids' weird childhood to what's going down in Hades' hood. These fables are bizarre but good. It's Mythunderstood.
Hey, welcome to another episode of Mythunderstood with me, Paul Bianchi, and her.
Sierra Oliver.
Sierra Oliver?
Sierra.
Oh, Sarah. It's Sarah Oliver. Yeah, today we are joined by a longtime friend of mine. We met at art school. It is my friend Hector.
Hello.
Hello, Hector.
How's it going?
Long-time friend, first-time caller.
Hector, we talked about it a little bit in the car ride on the way here, but what is your prior experience with Greek mythology?
All right. I've been listening to the podcast, so I kind of know you were going to ask me that. So I had to look this up. And it was...
you had to look up your own history of...
I did.
He had to check the data.
I had to figure out what we watched in sophomore year of high school. And apparently it was the Odyssey 1997 TV series.
Oh.
Right? And I remember it being very vivid because it was super awkward where you had, I think... What's his name? Basically, there was a woman making love to the ocean, and it was very like metaphorical. And then everyone in the class was like super embarrassed by it. That's a vivid memory in my mind.
Oh, she was just douching.
Having not seen this, was she a claymation or was she a real human?
No, real human.
Were there claymations in this film?
I don't think so.
Oh.
Although it would have made sense.
Yeah. I feel like the Odyssey is rife for claymations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and then another...
Got your next script idea, don't you?
I was just wondering, Sarah was doing something with her hand in her mouth, and I thought
my nail.
I thought it was an obscene gesture. But so that's the roughly the experience. No, you don't remember like a unit in elementary school or...
We were doing Greek mythology, but it was that's like kind of the only memory I had, other than the fact that at the beginning of this, I think it was at the end of the Trojan War, and then you have Achilles running around saying like, "I've killed Hector," and as he's saying, "I killed Hector," everyone's just in the class turns to me and just looks.
Oh, so you remember it as a scarring?
Yeah, it was painful. It was a
cried?
Painful memory. So that's why I'm on here.
We're excited about this then because we are revisiting this memory today. Hector's trip to Los Angeles happened to coincide with the Iliad, the part of the story of the Trojan War that deals with the death of Hector.
I didn't know he was going to die.
Oh,
he's the skewer boy, right?
Yes, he's the one who's been skewering people with his spears, holding them up in the air and letting their bodies sort of slowly, eekly fall towards them. Yeah. Well, I should have mentioned this, but I didn't. Is that it was foretold that Hector would die in the battle, and it was foretold that Achilles would die in the battle. So we shouldn't...
No, not Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt played both characters. It was like Eddie Murphy.
Or adaptation, really.
Yeah. So let's jump into where we are at year 10 of this 10-year war. So you might remember that after Paris took Helen to Troy, Agamemnon sent Palamedes to Ithaca to retrieve Odysseus, who had promised to defend the marriage of Helen and Menelaus. And Odysseus did not want to honor his oath, so he pretended to be insane, plowed his field with salt.
Yeah, I like that.
Palamedes knew what was up, and so put his son in front of the plow so that Odysseus had to veer off course, thus proving that he was sane. Because that was a science back then. And Odysseus never forgave Palamedes for ruining his attempt to stay out of the Trojan War.
You killed my bit, man.
And so this grudge lasted the entire 9 years of the war. So we are now to the point 9 years later. The entire army is tired of this fruitless war at this point.
I'm sick of it.
That's every single soldier said that it simultaneously. And when Palamedes advised the Greeks, hey, you know what? Maybe we should return home. Odysseus thought, now's my chance to get revenge on Palamedes. So this is what Odysseus did. He sort of snuck off in the night, and he planted gold in Palamedes' tent, and he wrote a forged letter from Priam, the king of Troy, saying like, "Hey, if you tell the Greeks to leave Troy, I'll give you a bunch of money."
Ooh.
And so other Greek soldiers the next morning found this note and this gold in Palamedes' tent and were convinced that he was a traitor. So Odysseus and his friend Diomedes, so there's Diomedes and Palamedes, they got together and they stoned Palamedes to death.
Just two bros stoning a dude?
Just two bros stoning a dude. Some myths say, though, that Diomedes guessed or knew about the plot, but he did not try to defend Palamedes because Odysseus was essential for the fall of Troy.
He's probably innocent, but I'm going to throw some rocks at his face.
Yeah, that's exactly what occurred. This name should sound new to us, Diomedes, because earlier when I was talking about the Trojan War, I said the names that you need to remember in the Trojan War basically are Achilles, Odysseus, Agamemnon, Menelaus, and Calchas, and Ajax. But Diomedes is also an important warrior, and this was pointed out to me by a listener of the podcast, sunrise_2_sunsets. And she
that's her birth name.
That is her birth name. Yes, she left us a message and said, "Hey,
you stupid fucking idiot."
That's exactly how she phrased it. She said, "Hey, you stupid fucking idiot. My boyfriend loves Diomedes, and don't forget about him because he's cool." And Diomedes is pretty cool, except he stoned a guy knowing that he was innocent. But
that's fine. That's fair, man. What else were they gonna do?
Exactly.
Can you say Diomedes' name like Wilford Brimley says diabetes?
Diomedes. Is that close enough?
Diomedes.
Oh, okay. I was saying it more like the meme of that cat that like turns suddenly and goes diabetes.
Either is fine. I'd like if you use it interchangeably.
Exactly, because that cat's name must be Wilford Brimley also.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. So second only to Achilles, Diomedes, king of Argos, was considered the mightiest and most skilled warrior among the Greeks. During downtime in the war, he walks up to Ajax and he's like, "Yo, Ajax."
Yo, what's up? It's me.
"Hey, Ajax, let's have an armed sparring contest."
An armed sparring contest?
Yeah, that means
you want to arm wrestle?
No, we fight with weapons.
I'm putting my sword down and I'm got my arm.
No, you pick up your sword.
You pick it up.
Okay, and I'm gonna hand it to you because we're gonna fight with weapons. That's what an armed sparring contest means.
If you're a real man, you'll arm wrestle me one arm and you'll sword fight me with another arm.
So they had an armed sparring contest. The winner would receive a great long sword. And apparently Diomedes was such a force that all of the watching Greeks said, please, stop fighting, because they were so concerned that Ajax was going to die in the sparring contest. So that's how proficient...
he kept trying to arm wrestle. That's on him.
That was how proficient Diomedes was in battle. Diomedes drew first blood, and Ajax gave Diomedes the prize because he drew first blood against him. Also, more things about Diomedes. I hope this makes sunrise_2_sunsets boyfriend happy, because I'm going to talk more about Diomedes and his basically what he looks like. He had a cuirass, a chest armor that Hephaestus made for him. And he was the only Greek warrior, apart from Achilles, who carried such an arsenal of gear, which were made by the gods. He had a round shield with the mark of a boar.
Why'd she make it for him?
Why did what?
Why'd he get it? Why'd he get something special?
Well, like many warriors in Greece, he was descendants of gods.
Okay.
His golden armor bore the crest of a boar on his breast, and it was blessed by Athena.
Whoa.
And he also had a sword which bore designs of a lion and a big boar. He likes boars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a boar boy.
Yes, he's a big boar boy. So that's all about Dionysus. So this is the stage that has been set right here at the end of the 9th year. The Greek army, tired from fighting and from the late Palamedes spurring, mutinied against their leaders and demanded to return to their homes.
Why? They've only been there 9 years.
Right?
Just hanging out doing nothing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they went on campaigns with Achilles and Diomedes. So, according to the author Cypria, Achilles forced the army to stay. And the way that Achilles forced the army to stay was that he brought forth these wine growers who had a gift of producing wine and basically bribed all the army to stay by getting them drunk.
That's classic. I mean, that happens all the time at bars. Just one more round.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly
one
how
more
that
round
works.
and one more year.
So, and this is where the Iliad story begins. Was after everyone mutinied.
The Hangover.
And, yeah,
this is the original Hangover.
The original. Now, which of my two students here in the room knows why the Iliad is called the Iliad? I didn't know either. It's okay.
I don't know shit. That's why this podcast exists.
Yeah. The Iliad is another way of saying the song of Ilium. And Ilium was another word for Troy. So it should just be called like the Troyad or the Troy, the story about Troy.
The Troy dance.
The Troy dance. Yeah.
Troy Story.
Yeah. Where'd that come from? So the Iliad begins with I don't know how to say this name. I think it's because it's so similar to like a girl's name. It's Chrysses.
Chrysses.
Uh-huh.
Chris. So
I always say Chrissy's, like, but I think it's
you know what that name reminds me of. Right before we met up, I saw like an online. This girl tweeted out all these ridiculous names in her kid's yearbook from Utah.
Okay.
And they're all names like that.
They're all named like
like Felicia spelled with like 3 E's and 7 Y's. Yeah.
Great. So the Iliad begins when Chryses, a Trojan priest of Apollo, offers the Greeks cash money for the return of his daughter Chryseis, who was held captive by Agamemnon. And even though the entire Greek army was like, yeah, give him back his daughter, that sounds great, Agamemnon refuses because I believe that Agamemnon is having sex with Chryseis and doesn't want to get rid of the girl that he's having sex with. So Chryseis prays for Apollo's help, and Apollo listens.
God.
What do you think? So, great Apollo, please help me.
It's me. I was making those noises. What's up, girl?
Hey, so my daughter Chryseis. I'm Chryseis, and my daughter's name is Chryseis. It's like a thing.
Shut the fuck up. What do you want?
Can you please launch a plague?
I could kill someone.
Okay.
I can kill a lot of people.
Yeah.
Just who? Just point. Just point in any direction.
All those
I
Greeks.
care.
Just
okay.
Kill all those Greeks. I know you're on the side of Troy.
Am I? Yeah, then whatever. Yeah. Then I'll do it for that reason.
Right.
No other bloodlusty reason that I got a gun.
So yeah, Apollo causes a plague to afflict the entire Greek army. And after 9 days, they really like the number 9 in the story, Achilles calls together an assembly to deal with the problem. Agamemnon gives in and agrees to return Chryseis to her father, but decides so that he still has a girl to have sex with, he decides to take Achilles' captive Briseis, who Achilles is having sex with, as compensation. So Achilles is really angered by this because his concubine Briseis is now gone, and he declares, "You know what? You take away my lady, I'm no longer going to fight for Agamemnon, and I'm going to go home." So that's that's how that occurs. And Odysseus returns Chryseis to his father, her father rather, and Apollo ends the plague after that. He's probably really sad about stopping killing people.
But why?
In the meantime, Agamemnon's messengers take Briseis away, and Achilles becomes very upset. He sits by the seashore. He prays to his mother, Thetis.
Mom, can I have another hooker?
That's exactly how his prayers go. So Thetis, his mother, the goddess of justice, goes to Zeus and says, "Hey, can you, Zeus?
I was a swan. Now I'm back.
I knew you were that swan because
you saw my boner.
You were the
my
swan
lipstick.
with the erection. Yeah. Can you bring the Greeks to a breaking point, so that Agamemnon will realize how much the Greeks need my boy Achilles. He'll realize the error of his ways and apologize to my son.
If you give me a little sugar, sugar.
I will give you one kiss on the dick." So Thetis does that. Zeus agrees. And Zeus sends a dream to Agamemnon. He comes to Agamemnon in a dream. He's
They're
like,
really getting creative this episode, all of them.
oh, I mean, well, this is a epic poem written by Homer, so it is full of a lot more imagery than some of the other myths. Zeus sends a dream to Agamemnon, and he says, Agamemnon.
Yeah, what's going on? Oh.
Agamemnon, it is I, Zeus.
Oh God. Yeah. What do you want?
I've
Are you
come-
a swan right now? I can't tell.
I am a swan. I'm
Oh,
a ghost
God.
swan. Attack Troy. Attack Troy tomorrow morning, 8/7 Central.
Oh God. What time is it? Attack. Yeah.
It's 6 Pacific right now.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I was just thinking about doing that before the swan flew in and did the thing. I'll do it. I'll do it.
Sorry guys, I'm trying to sleep. I'm the concubine.
Oh, be careful. I'll be back for you to dream about me later.
Ew, Beb, that swan thing has lipstick out.
Hey, we'll do it, swan. We'll do it. Just
All right, bye-bye.
bye.
So Agamemnon heeds the dream, but decides to first test the Greek army's morale, which you remember just mutinied against them. And he says, attention, everyone, attention.
Yeah.
Please, if you don't want to be here, go home.
Okay, bye.
Yeah, exactly, and that's exactly what happens.
Yeah,
Everyone
it's easy,
doesn't want to be there. They're all hungover.
Mhm.
They all want to go home, and
Made us wake up at 8/7 Central.
and then Odysseus sort of gets on the mic. There's a mic, and Odysseus is like, "Hey, don't listen to Agamemnon. Actually, please stay. That was a test. Agamemnon, he likes his tests. And Athena also wants the Greeks to stay. So Athena,
Come on, guys. We had a great night last night. We all drank. Let's keep this party going. Let's keep the party going. We can beat the Greeks. We could beat the Greeks.
exactly. So her words sort of ring through Odysseus's body, and he says exactly
Let's get this party going.
exactly what she would have said, and it inspires all the Greeks to stay. So
Turn y'all into birds.
So when the armies approach each other, the Greeks approach the Trojans. Before they meet, Paris offers to end the war by fighting a duel with Menelaus. So
That's nice.
Paris, the guy who took Helen from Menelaus. So we've got former husband versus current husband. At this point, too, Paris has been married to Helen longer than Menelaus was ever married to Helen. But whatever. Paris was urged to this decision by the head of the Trojan army and his brother, Hector. Hector just gave a thumbs up. He said, go for it.
Hector approved.
He held a flag that he quickly scrawled that said, go for it, my beloved brother.
Actually, I have a question about this.
Uh-huh.
Is Paris supposed to be like a really strong warrior soldier as
No,
well?
he's not.
No?
Hector's very, very strong. Paris is just wily. He's scrappy.
Scrappy. Okay.
And when Helen tells King Priam about the Greek commanders from the walls of Troy, both sides swear a truce and promise to abide by whatever the outcome of the duel is. So this is a very binding duel. And when they go out and duel, Menelaus has been like, he's like that guy who like lost his girlfriend and has been like working out for like 9 years to compensate.
Yeah. I know that.
Ew. So like I just stay married to whoever wins because they both look ripped.
Yeah, and so
One of them's Orlando Bloom.
yeah, so Menelaus comes out to the battlefield and he's swole and he's carrying his just like a beating stick. Like he's ready to. I mean, he probably has a sword, but let's just say he. It doesn't matter what he wields. He just looks larger and much more
Does she have
intimidating.
kids with either of them?
Yes,
All of them.
everyone.
She has everyone's kids.
Yes. So he's got his beaten stick out, and Paris shows up, and Paris is like looking svelte but slender. And
Orlando Bloom.
Orlando Bloom. And when they go out to battle, just like they get face to face, and he's like, "Did you just kiss me, bro?
Yes, I did.
Did you just kiss me, bro?
Yes, I did.
I can taste Helen on your lips." So he just Menelaus just beats Paris within the inch of his life, and almost to the point of dying. But when Menelaus is about to land the killing blow on Paris, Aphrodite flies down from the sky, picks up Paris, and wafts him back over to the bed chambers of Helen, and is like, "Quickly, have sex.
Quick, suck his dick."
Exactly. She literally does lead him to the bedroom with Helen before Menelaus can kill him. That is sort of the way that it's put. Like, here, and if you guys have sex right now, he won't die.
Oh.
It's magic healing sex.
Wait, seriously?
Yes. Do you not know that's how medicine works?
Yeah,
Hector?
it is. You ever never been to an emergency room?
All right, I'm gonna write that down.
So after that happens, Hera is watching. Remember, all the gods are invested in this, and she's
they're just like munching popcorn.
Yeah, Hera is so frustrated by what has just occurred on her television set that she goes over to Zeus and she's like, "Zeus,
Yeah.
Zeus, be a human. Stop being a swan.
No.
No one likes you as a swan.
Everyone likes my lipstick.
Will you please arrange for the Troy to break the truce by having one of their archers just shoot an arrow at Menelaus so that it's the duel is over."
Sounds like you got a plan. You do it, woman.
You do it.
You do it.
Do it. Do it if you love me.
I'm a swan. I just want to go sit on a lake.
So after Hera kisses Zeus's lipstick, Zeus then does agree to entice the Trojan Pandaros to shoot his arrow at Menelaus.
You know what'd be cool? You know what'd be really cool, dude? Shut your arrow over that way. It's so cool.
And when this happens, it does indeed break the truce, and the Greeks and the Trojans are just like, "Well, that duel is over," and they start clashing shields and battling each other. So that was our chance for it to end with no more bloodshed, but
Seems like a tiny task for the greatest god.
That's what Zeus has to do sometimes.
The Iliad is like the Jersey Shore episode of the Greek gods. They're all drama queens.
Yes,
They're all like up in each other's shit.
Yeah, and Snooki just is out of control, and Jay, wow.
Why, Paul?
I'm impressed that I knew
Why
two
do
of
you
their
know all
names.
of them?
I think. Wait, what was
There's another one with your name.
Was there a Polly? Polly, that's backwards D, but a Polly D. All right. Well, anyway, during the fighting, everyone's favorite Diomedes goes out on Diomedes goes out on the battlefield, and he kills many, many Trojans, including Pandaros, who was the one who shot Menelaus. He also,
wow, Zeus doesn't even got your back.
Yeah. He just went back to bed. He then goes over and defeats Aeneas in one-on-one combat. Aeneas, who will later star in the Iliad. So Aphrodite also flies down and picks up Aeneas and is like, no, someone suck his dick.
To the emergency blowjob room.
Yeah. And when Aphrodite rescues him, Diomedes says, not so fast. And he just like cuts her like right across the tramp stamp. Like right.
Wait, cuts Aphrodite?
Yeah.
Oh,
just
that's a bad idea.
Yeah. So he cuts Aphrodite and wounds her. And after she drops off Aeneas, she's like, oh man, I need to take 5. I did not expect to get wounded in this battle by a mortal. Jeez. But remember, he has that, and all of his gear is enchanted, so it can probably all hurt the gods. Then who else would you expect then if Aphrodite gets wounded, who then does he earn the ire of?
Ares.
Ares, god of war, takes to the battlefield, and Diomedes wounds him and puts him out of action.
Yeah, Ares is kind of always a wimpy little bitch.
Exactly. What was I saying about Ares? He always just like
wimpy little bitch.
He always.
Come on, let's bring Apollo to the fight. Let's get some crazy.
Yeah, I mean, and Apollo is on the Trojan side too. This is Aphrodite, Ares, Apollo, and Artemis are all on the side of the Trojans here. So
where's my wild card at?
Apollo only appears to warn Diomedes against warring with the gods after he wounds both Aphrodite and Ares. He's just like, hey, you don't want to do what you just did. You don't want to do it. And then
Ares to warring with against like Zeus and them?
No, Apollo warns Diomedes.
Oh.
You don't want to battle against Aphrodite and Ares, even though you just murdered, or not murder them, but you put them out of action. Like,
wait, why is he like giving him a heads up?
He just shows up to like basically say like, if you thought they were hard, and Diomedes is like, they weren't hard. And he's like, well, I would be even worse. I'll be shooting my arrows that cause pain. So he just tries to threaten him to do that.
God, I'm disappointed in Apollo.
Yeah, well, he'll be back. We flash over to like, if this would be like a jump cut, and we would go over to another side of the battle field, and we see that Hector is dueling with Ajax.
What's up?
And Hector's there. He's got his spear that's like still soaked in the blood of other people that he's murdered.
Classic Hector.
Yeah.
Try to arm wrestle me. Come on, Hector, try to arm wrestle me.
Yeah, so the whole time Ajax is trying to arm wrestle Hector, and Hector's like, no, I just want to fight you. And their fight, or maybe their discussion about whether or not they're actually going to have a fight, goes all the way until nightfall, and both of them are so sleepy they just go to bed. Their battle is interrupted by nightfall.
It's kind of cute.
Yeah. So both.
Do they sleep? Like, do they spoon?
Yeah, all it says is both sides retire for the evening, but
like they're wrestling and it turns into just a nice cuddle.
Yeah, I think that's
those are the best.
Yeah, they have like a match of strength against each other, and then they just sort of slowly collapse to their knees and then fall down. Yeah, it's a face-to-face spoon.
Oh,
a forking. So during that night, the Greeks and the Trojans are like, "Hey, we need to burn all of our dead. So we're gonna do that tonight.
We have a bonfire. Hey, who wants another drink? It's be Athena."
And during that time, the Greeks and the Trojans are like, let's have a truce so we can respectfully burn burn our own dead. And during that time, the Greeks
like Burning Man.
During that time, the Greeks also built a wall around their ships and their encampment.
Well, they had a busy night.
Yeah. And the Trojans in that time, still behind the walls of their city, have a quarrel about what they need to do with Helen, because they've been taking heavy losses is the word. So so basically, just Hector is talking to Paris, and Hector wants Paris to return Helen. So someone spur me, Paris, to return Helen.
You got to do it, man. No, it's yeah, dude, Paris. It's been 9 years, dude.
Yeah.
Like, is this
9
worth it?
years of marital bliss?
You call this bliss?
Yes,
Dude, man, you just gotta. This might be too much work, if you know what I mean. Like, you have this whole kingdom here. You know,
I just
you got-
fucked him healthy. He's good.
That's true.
He's
That's
good.
All right, here's my counter offer.
This is really weird that she's in the room, by the way.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna send them an edible arrangement and keep Helen.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, I'll just send them
Oh.
a fruit basket.
Is that a little boo boo you got?
It is a little boo
Is that a little boo boo? You need some.
Why
You
am I
need
still in
the
the room?
nurse?
This
You
is
need the
rude.
nurse?
No, stay here and watch
I
this.
don't want to
Can you
watch
Stay
this.
here and watch this,
You
brother.
need the naughty
You need to
nurse?
learn
Oh,
why she
You
needs to
need the naughty
stay.
nurse?
No, I don't want to watch why she needs to stay.
So Paris refuses to return Helen, and that's basically our back and forth scene here between Greeks build a wall and Paris builds a wall, not a real wall, but
Metaphorical.
a
wall.
metaphorical wall between himself and his brother because he won't give Helen back. The next day, Zeus wakes up on Mount Olympus, still a swan, and he says, I forbid the gods from interfering with the war anymore.
I'm over it.
Look, my prized goddess of love, Aphrodite,
No, hon, it's my stories. I watch it.
but look at Aphrodite. Her tramp stamp is ruined. It was cut across by Diomedes.
Well, no one's looking at her down there, are they?
I am. And Ares also got his tramp stamp was cut as well.
Well, you can't. I'm sorry. I know. He's a little bitch. He's a little bitch. Everyone thinks so.
I forbid the gods from interfering. You can keep watching the stories, but this episode is going to be gods free. So during the next day, the Trojans wait until night and start attacking their walled structure that they built around the city. And Agamemnon during this time realizes, as they're getting their asses kicked, oh man, I really shouldn't have taken Briseis from Achilles. I need him back because Achilles hasn't been a part of this battle up until this point. So Agamemnon decides to send 2 heralds over to Achilles' camp, and these 2 heralds show up at Achilles' door, and they're like, Achilles, hey.
But what? I'm out here camping. I'm camping, and I'm back in drag because, quite frankly, that's how I feel comfortable.
Well, that's great. Agamemnon will take you however you choose to be. In fact, he even wants to give you back your concubine, and he wants to give you treasures and an edible arrangement.
Stop.
What?
I'll come back. You said edible arrangement.
No,
wait. Honeydew or no honeydew?
No honeydew.
I'm in.
Well, Achilles isn't in. I was really hoping that honeydew would make you choose the opposite way.
No, I hate honeydew.
I also hate honeydew. Oh man,
Why don't you?
Honey, don't.
Wow. All right.
Honeydew tastes like soap to me.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a New Jersey thing. That's
yeah.
why
Do you like honeydew, Hector?
I think it's all right.
Okay.
I mean, it's in the name.
Hector do honeydew.
There you go.
So even though Achilles receives the embassy well, he angrily refuses Agamemnon's offer and declares that he would only return to battle if the Trojans reach his ships and threaten him with fire. But other than that, all the other Greeks can die.
How far away is he?
He's like a couple blocks away.
And he's been chilling this entire time playing cards and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cards Against Humanity.
Yeah.
With himself.
They're like 6 cards.
Yeah. So the Trojans continue to attack the Greek wall on foot, and while this is happening, you know how the Greeks have a seer, Calchas? The Trojans have a seer, Polydamas. And
Hey, it's me, Polydamas. Polly D.
And he warns Hector while he's assaulting the Greeks that he needs to fall back.
Boy, you need to chill out.
You'll make me.
You
all
need
right?
to chill. You sit the fuck down. You need to sit down.
I'm in aggro mode right now. I gotta just do this. I know.
We're all aggro, man. We all had our gym workout.
No, you don't get it. You don't get it. I'm about to reach my limit here.
Oh,
I'm 5 reps away. I think I can do it.
Leg day.
So yeah, that's exactly right. Hector ignores the urgings of Polydamas, even though Polydamas warns him that, hey, if you come face to face with Achilles, he will kill you. But Hector doesn't see Achilles anywhere, so he continues the assault. During this time, Hera is really upset with...
They took away all my favorite characters from my story.
So she puts on a negligee and she starts to seduce Zeus.
Hey, babe. Did turn into a man? Turn into a man.
Swan or no dice?
Okay, I can do this.
So she seduces Zeus, has sex with him, and then lures him to sleep. And while he's asleep, she says, "Psst, Poseidon! Poseidon!
Yes.
Poseidon, go help the Greeks while Zeus is sleeping."
Oh yeah. What do you want me to do?
I don't know. Use ocean or horses. That's what you do.
Horse oceans. Got it.
Gotcha.
So just throw horses at them from the ocean.
So
wet horses.
So during during this time when Zeus is asleep, Poseidon rises up on the coast and pushes,
yeah.
and pushes the Trojans back onto the plains of the beach. Zeus awakens and is enraged by Poseidon's intervention, and because of that, he's like, "All right, well, if they're allowed to use Poseidon, Apollo, you can go help the Trojans now." So basically, Poseidon pushes them back onto the beach, and then Apollo appears. Out comes the sun, dries up all the rain, pushes the Trojans back towards the wall. So it's just a little seesaw effect that occurred there. So if you remember in the episode before, we had Patroclus. Patroclus died. Some authors say that this happened in year 8 or 9 of the war. The Iliad places Patroclus's death here at this point when he's theoretically camping out with Achilles during this time, and Patroclus sees the fate that is befalling the Greeks, still has loyalty to them, and he convinces Achilles, "Let me go fight." And finally, Achilles is like, "Sure, go fight, but do not follow them and push forward." We know what happens because of the last episode. He goes, he confronts Hector. Hector runs him through with a spear.
Which at this point, I think it's just wielded to his hand.
Mhm.
Like it just never cleans his hand. It's just with a spear on it.
It is, yes, it is Elmer's glued to his hand.
Elmer's glued.
Long time
sturdiest
ago.
of glues.
Yes. And
Makes cobwebs.
and after Hector kills Patroclus, Polydamas again shows up
Hey.
to urge Hector to withdraw into the city.
It's me, Polly D. I'm telling you right now, your boy Achilles, he's not gonna like that you just skewered his boy.
No, even better, man. Just getting right in his brain. Mind games right into him. Just killing his best friend.
You know what's gonna happen to your brain? It's
He'll be fine.
it's gonna shut down this
No-
whole central nervous system.
nothing-
Shutting down, Polly D.
No, I'm just gonna get stronger. I'm assuming it's just gonna get a lot better from here on out.
During the night, probably while he's holding Patroclus's body, Achilles gets a new set of armor from Hephaestus and a magnificent shield. And in the following morning, he goes back to Agamemnon. He's mostly doing this because of the loss of Patroclus, that he's like, okay, well, now I'll fight against the Trojans, specifically against Hector, because he killed Patroclus. Remember, he has got the concubine Briseis, who is classic.
He's kind of like secondhand Helen. Like guys are getting pissy about her.
Yeah, but so sometimes you got the classical authors that are saying, okay, well, the love of his life is this concubine Briseis. You got the other classical authors that are like, the love of his life is Patroclus.
Obviously.
In the Iliad here, Agamemnon, as soon as Achilles arrives back at his camp, he gives him all of the promised gifts, his edible arrangement, all of the things that he said he was going to give him, including Briseis. But Achilles is indifferent to them. He is too overwrought with the emotion for the loss of Patroclus. So more points in the camp of Patroclus is the love of his life.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Achilles also fasts while the Greeks take their meal. He straps on his new armor, wields his great spear, and he is about to get on his horse Xanthos, and Xanthos speaks to him here. Remember, he's fasting, so he's probably a little out of it. Xanthos is like, Achilles.
The fucking fuck.
Achilles, I'm your horse, Xanthos. I just thought I should tell you that if you ride into Troy, you'll get killed. So be careful.
So, what should I do then? Wise horse.
Don't go. I love you.
You were the one all along.
Are there words like, did that horse just talk? No one cares. Okay.
So Achilles still gets onto Xanthos and drives his chariot into battle. And while Achilles is storming into Troy, Zeus lifts the ban on all gods' interference because he's like,
burn, burn, burn.
Everyone could just go back because I see Achilles. He's burning with rage and grief, and this is going to be crazy. This is going to be fun.
Yeah.
Let's get down there. So, driving off like all of the Trojans that come before him. I don't know if anyone, Hector, you've played Dynasty Warriors before.
Yes.
Sarah, you've never played Dynasty Warriors, right? I don't
Nope.
think. Well, it's one of my favorite video games. It is like one of those one against many video games.
This is the one that you posted about, like the Greek mythology.
No. This is a Chinese history game, but you play these ancient Chinese warriors, and you're battling against these armies, and you're racking out. You're like a general on the battlefield, and you're racking up like thousands of KOs while you're going across the battlefield.
Sure,
it's kind of like the movie Hero with Jet Li.
A little bit,
Yeah.
So you're just like knocking back tens of men in one blow, and that's what Achilles is doing here because he is so enraged for the loss of his friend Patroclus. And as he reaches the river Scamandros, he proceeds to slaughter all of the Trojans who are crossing the river and fills the river with dead and blood. Remember, though, that rivers are also embodiments of gods, too. So
they're just like,
yeah. So Scamandros gets really mad that he's getting filled with blood and bodies and rises up as a big bloody body of water against Achilles in that moment.
I'm going to stab you, water.
Yeah, and Achilles is like slashing away at the water, like, I don't care. And right when that happens, Hephaestus, who is on the side of the Greeks, appears as a whirlwind of fire and battles the river. So just
this is a high CGI budget here.
Really, really heavy CG.
I'm going to guess they left this part out of that Brad Pitt movie.
Where it becomes a sauna in the middle of the battlefield?
No, actually, Tilda Swinton played the whirling column of fire.
Oh, typecast.
Yeah. And so the gods begin to fight among themselves also on the battlefield during this time. It is pitting, like Athena is fighting Ares.
Just breaking bottles over his head.
Yeah. We got Artemis, the virgin goddess, against Aphrodite. You know, it's all of these this is like the end of the series of the Trojan War. In fact, and there is a series of the Trojan War. So if this happens on the show, this will be like, oh, I've been waiting. I just have been waiting for Artemis to clash against Aphrodite. So she's just like shooting her with arrows, and Aphrodite is, I assume, fighting like Uma Thurman from Batman and Robin, like blowing like pheromone dust out of her palm.
Go fuck yourself.
And then she does. Would she'd still be a virgin goddess?
Yes, it's masturbation.
So at this during the chaos, Achilles rides into the city, following Apollo, who's trying to lure him into a trap into the city, disguised as a Trojan. So he's up to no good. He rides Xanthos off into the city, and once Apollo gets into the city, Athena is there inside of the city waiting for Apollo. And basically, like, imagine Apollo is running towards the city, looking behind him, like, is he following me? And then turns around, and Athena just like clotheslines him to the ground, like, and knocks the wind out of him right as he enters the city.
That's the fight I want to see.
Yeah. So once he's inside the city, Hector is inside the city, and his parents, Hecuba and Priam, are talking to him and saying, please just go hide out. Like, we're really afraid for you, Hector. You're a great warrior, yes, but we really fear that the time of your prophecy is drawing near, that you're going to die soon.
No, Mom, that's just horse shit. I'm going to show you something real cool right now. I'm about to.
That's my boy.
No,
that's what I'm saying.
That's
what I'm saying.
That's horse shit. That's Xanthos's horse shit. The horse of Achilles in the street.
God, Mom, I got this. Okay.
Let the boy die.
I got this.
If he wants to die, let him die.
I'm not gonna die, Dad. Don't.
You're gonna die.
Don't.
That's the talk we're giving you right now.
Why are you saying that? That's I'm
It's been foretold.
But that.
Listen to your sister Cassandra for once.
Oh God, not her again.
So Hector probably shouldn't have talked to his parents before this, because they filled him with doubt.
That's life advice right there. 100%.
Yeah.
And so when Hector sees Achilles in the streets of Troy, he freezes upon seeing him face to face, and this massive showdown that we've all been waiting for now ends. Well, not ends, but it should be like this huge, like, heroic clash of man mountain versus man mountain. But Hector sees him, and just the doubt from his parents, knowing that his death is imminent, he flees, and he starts running on foot through the city. Achilles chases after him, and guess who else is in the city still? It is Athena. And so Hector runs to the end of like a city block, and he, like, Athena, I don't know exactly how she stops him, but let's just say that there's like a a duck, a mama duck, and like four little ducklings like slowly crossing the street, and Hector's like, I don't want to step on him. And then he like turns and sees Athena, and
you want me to buy you a beer?
And he's like, nah. And then he turns around and fights and is face to face with Achilles, and the two of them have a battle with their spears and their swords, and they're clashing against each other. And Achilles is like, man, you're really good, Hector.
Yeah, you're not too bad yourself, Achilles.
Yeah, it's too bad. It's prophesied you're going to die.
Your mama.
Yeah, your neck. And then he stabs Hector right through the neck. Before dying...
Is he okay?
Before dying, Hector reminds Achilles, hey, you too, bro. You're also fated to die in this war. And before dying. And after that, Achilles does the noblest, most heroic thing that he can think of. And he takes Hector's body and drags him behind his horse back through the city and all the way off onto the beach, and drags him in front of the Greek soldiers. Like, look, I killed it. Yay. Yay, Hector's dead. Hector's dead. Hector's dead. Hector's dead.
Shots for everyone.
Is that flashback to your school?
Oh yeah, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before we get off this point, I remember that being like a big point where he does run off quite a bit.
Yeah.
But then it's supposed to be this revelation that he's like needs to face his destiny
Uh-huh.
at some point. So he's just like, okay, fine. Like
You learned it wrong. There's baby ducks.
they're baby ducks. Actually.
Well,
Yeah.
and that's the thing is that there are multiple schools of what did Athena do to trick him into turning around. And so perhaps that's what she did, was fill him with a vision of you need to face your destiny, or baby ducks.
I like the baby ducks. I think that's
Yeah.
more usable.
So Zeus looks down from Olympus and sees the terrible treatment of Hector's body, and decides that his body must be returned to Priam. So and remember, Zeus has been he's Switzerland during all of this. He's trying to be. He just wants there to be a glorious battle, and he's trying to keep it fair.
To me, he just sounds like a tired dad in a bathrobe.
He is. He's like,
knock it off.
Exactly.
Okay, fine.
I thought it was more like a pay-per-view producer. He's just like, oh yeah, man, we need more people subscribing right now.
He could be all of them. All of these things.
So he sends Hermes down to Troy to gather Priam, and he's like, "Hello, I am Hermes, Priam, King Priam.
Yes.
Hello.
Hi, how's it going?
Your son is dead."
Oh, I knew it. I told it to his face. He said he was gonna die, and he died.
That was a dick move.
Oh.
Please take this wagon and follow me across the plains, and I will lead you to the Greek camp unnoticed.
Why does it say radio rider on the side of this wagon?
Because it's classy.
Okay. Can it be a little bigger? It's pretty small.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
takes him on a little red wagon.
he takes him on a little red wagon, and when Hermes delivers Priam to the Greek camp, Priam walks up to Achilles and just like drops to his knees in front of Achilles, tears in his eyes, and he says, "Please, please, please, please give me back my son so that I can bury him." And when this happens, Achilles also begins to cry, and he also falls down to his knees. And the two men hold each other, crying and lamenting the loss, their losses that they sustained during the war. Of course, Priam losing his son, and Achilles losing his best friend, his just
best boyfriend he ever had.
So he agrees to give Hector back to Priam after a meal, because they love a feast. And
how long did the feast last?
9 days, because it's 9. And then Hector is returned to the city of Troy, where he is buried, and they close the gates behind them, and that's how the Iliad ends.
But not the Trojan War.
But not the Trojan War.
So wait, why did they not complete their mission during this time?
I know, because Achilles ends up inside the city by himself. It's because the Achilles is alone within the walls of Troy, but the Greek soldiers do not find their way inside of Troy. So that's basically what I need to wrap up during our next installment of Mythunderstood is the happenings of the Trojan horse and one of my favorite myths, the myth of Penthesilea.
Penicillin.
Oh yeah, that's good pasta too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that was the Iliad encompassed into one episode. It was a lot of information, but I think pretty easy to follow, right?
I followed it.
Yeah,
me too. Yeah. If there's one battle you will want to watch that will take place for 10 years, it is this battle. Gods versus gods. Humans versus humans. Other semi-humans versus other semi-humans. Coming to you in the next 10 years, the Trojan War. $39.99 per year.
All because I'm a hot girl.
What?
Because Helen.
Oh. All I heard was like, I'm a hot girl. But I think you said all
because I'm a hot girl.
Gotcha. Well, that was good. Hector, thank you so much for joining us on this episode that was about likely the origin of your name and how he came to die so that you could live on, because there could only be one, right?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, there are not that many Achilles I know of now.
Oh, I know. I met one.
You met an Achilles?
Yeah,
I can't.
He was Armenian, though.
Would you say he's a face or a heel?
He was a real heel.
Okay. Well, dad/wrestling joke there. Well, thank you for listening to this episode of Mythunderstood. We are going to finish the Trojan War with the Trojan horse next episode. If you would like to follow us, Mythunderstood, you can follow us @ Mythunderstood on Instagram and Twitter.
Yep.
Yeah.
And if you want to follow us as humans, Paul is at the Paul Bianchi and I am at the Sarah Oliver. And we're on Instagram and I'm kind of on Twitter.
Are you kind of on Twitter?
I don't like barely.
Yeah. Hector, if you want to follow him, you will have to follow his trail of breadcrumbs that he leaves on the ground because he is off of all social media.
I also eat a lot of carbs.
Off the grid.
Yeah.
That's true. Please rate and review us on iTunes or wherever you listen because it helps people find us. And share with a friend who needs to learn how to not talk back to you.
I still haven't learned that lesson.
You can follow at It's Dragon Wagon on all social media. And please show your support at dragonwagonradio.com/support. It helps us fund this entire network with gifts of equipment and the like.
And we've had more requests for t-shirts, so I think we're going to get on that shit.
Yeah, we if I had a link to tell you about that, I would. But I'll tell you soon on social media.
Night.
Night.
Bye.
So from the realm of myth and legend, we descend into the world of fantasy.
Into your world of fantasy, specifically, Paul.
Whoa, that sounds sexy.
We are talking about our brand new podcast, Dungeons and Dragon Wagon, from the mind of our fearless DM and the creator of the campaign and world that we play in, Mythunderstood's very own Paul Bianchi. The podcasters of Dragon Wagon Radio are venturing off into a mythical land in this D&D inspired actual play role-playing game podcast that's very heavy on the role play.
And every episode, we have a terrific guest who joins us on the journey.
As we must take on the roles of half-orcs, dark elves, and more, and fight our way through the mystical land of peril, drama, and often hilarity, all controlled by you, our fearless dungeon master, Paul Bianchi.
And the choices you guys make.
Yeah, and the chance to roll of the die. So check out dndwpod.com or follow at dndwpod on social media. And check out our prologue, and we've got a lot more in store.
Yes.
Yes.